Now we realize why the system prefers females. Not only because they're docile, unthinking, tolerant, willing to submit to authority, unquestioning of authority, unchallenging to authority, but also because they bring up children, just as when a woman changes families and brings up her children in accordance with her husband's morals and principles, and his family's morals and principles. So too a female is easily integrated within the system. The system becomes her husband, so to speak, her mate, and she brings up the child in accordance with its will, its principles, its values. With the particular system in question here now, the American system, what we call the Western, because we've been trained to have no other word for it, we find a particular form of nihilism, which is anti-nature, anti-reality, anti-world, and most distinctly it is anti-pagan, which is the spiritual source of all European peoples. If you look back at the European peoples, they're rooted in paganism, all the way back to their Indian roots. And this essentially is a mimetic war against European males. It's the European males that are being leveled down and exterminated, so to speak. Their ethos, their values, their thoughts, their ideals, slandered, ridiculed, forgotten. We have an infection that entered into the body, the Western body, during the Roman times, through the mutation that it went through with its combination with Hellenic thought, more specifically Platonism. And this infection now is attempting to spread itself across the world, eradicating all other cultures, eliminating them, turning men into a paste of nothingness, turning men into women, and making everything pretentious. Even masculinity now is pretend. A woman can pretend to be a man. She can wear pants, strap on a gun, even strut like a man, and yet she remains quintessentially feminine in her thinking. But I digress, so let's return it back to the beginning. We've established that patriarchy is essential for the emergence of civilizations, stable civilizations. In order to do this, they have to impose a standard of behaving upon all, in particular upon sexual behavior, because species and male and female labels are sexual labels. They are procreative labels and nothing more. You cannot speak of a species, a human species, without procreation. So patriarchy was essential for the emergence of stable civilizations. As the masculine energy becomes obsolete through this male-on-male competition, which develops technologies to outdo each other and to control resources, one resource being females and males for that reason, for that matter. This makes males more and more obsolete, so they're forced either to live on the periphery or to disappear. So when MRAs cry about this, they have no fucking clue what's going on, and I don't know how many times I can repeat it. Or when feminists say that, cry about parity and how they're free from paternalism, they're not free of paternalism. They're free from the middlemen. They're free from biological males, because now they're totally submissive and submitted to the absolute alpha male, whether it is a god, a deity, or it's a state or an institution. one more synoptical take on patriarchy from an economic standpoint. We can say that patriarchy was a regulating mechanism which kept the price or the cost of pussy low, affordable to all males. So now that all males could acquire pussy and use it for their own means. With the feminist movement, what essentially happened was, as with the economy recently and its eventual collapse, was that the system deregulated the cost of pussy. So then it entered into the free market, where, because of its value to the system directly, its price just skyrocketed. In effect, pricing itself above the average male. So the average male now is faced with a dilemma. Do I work my ass off to get access to a woman and whatever that entails, comfort, sexual pleasure, potential for offspring, or do I opt out? And that is what is occurring with the MRAs. In effect, they're being priced out of the competition, and this gets them angry. So what they're proposing with the MRA is essentially a boycott of a product, of pussy, hoping that this boycott will force the system to begin regulating the price again, in fact bringing it down to more affordable levels. As I noted before in other videos, the previous videos, the system has no interest in doing this. In effect, it has more interest in maintaining the situation as it is, because all it requires really is one male willing to fertilize females. But not even he's necessary, since, like I said, technology has advanced to the point where even sperm is obsolete. All the system wants is effete, tolerant, uniform populations who think that their freedom consists in the choice of cokes or food items or luxuries. That's the extent of the freedom the individual has, and he feels that this freedom is an indication that he's truly free. In the United States, we see this Democrat versus Republican, which is not really different from the communist one-party system, because Democrats and Republicans are really one party with shared values and principles, with only variations in degree and very slight variations at that at times. Using this metaphor, we can say that the MRAs, the feminists, are, as expected, trying to deregulate the value of pussy, wanting to increase its value, and the MRAs are supporting this. They are for, after all, free markets, even if this is pushing them off to the periphery by making women inaccessible to them. And the only option now left to them is this turning their back, this pressure tactics, this boycott. They assume, being the naive idiots that they are, and having been raised within sheltered environments with little experience with the actual world, that the system will self-regulate itself. The same way capitalists thought that by deregulating controls over the economy would have no impact, because greed would be self-regulating, that the system itself is self-regulating. In fact, this is what the MRAs are counting on, and they pretend that they are that beginning of that self-regulation. In fact, in a free market, if all are free to sell even themselves to the highest bidder, women will always find a man willing to pay a high price, because whether these idiots want to accept it or not, men are still competing with other men over females. We might say the entire economy in the West is based on this sexual competition of trying to outdo the other in order to gain not only more females but higher quality females. By excluding themselves from the marketplace, so to speak, they even speak the words of concerning wage slaves and all that, which is very similar to the communist culture and the communist use of words, and how communists perceive the economy and the free markets. By doing so, they make themselves free radicals. Now, this can be dangerous to the system because they're a destabilizing entity. But of course, with the development of more sophisticated methods of husbandry, this is less of a problem than it would have been in the past. For instance, now with the usage of pop culture, chemical methods, pornography, distractions such as the computer, video games, and so on. The dangerous aspects of having all these free radical males with no investment in the system is decreased to the point of being inconsequential. So that, in brief or not so brief, is all I have to say on paternalism, at least for now. Until next time, ta-ta.